Hey everybody, welcome back to my music vlog. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about my latest composition called Three Images Book 1. And it's a set of 3 individual piano pieces put together in a book, and they each describe an image of nature, which is why the title Three Images is super creative. So I first came up with the idea for the piece when I was just kind of noodling around on my piano. I thought, hey, let's record some of this. So I set up a recorder and I just started playing. I just started improvising and it turned into 3 pieces. Here is a little composing tip for you. Improvising is a great way to get started when you're working on a new piece. If you just sit at the piano and let your fingers play, you'll be surprised at the sounds that you can make with just your fingers. It's always helpful to have some staff paper nearby or record it with an audio recorder so that you don't forget what you improvised. So Three Images started with this idea of repeated chords, and this idea just kind of stuck in all 3 pieces, and it was kind of the main thematic idea that I began to roll with when I first started writing. Once I finished improvising one idea, I moved on to the next, and this happened a total of 3 times, which is why there are 3 pieces in the book. This gave me 3 separate ideas for the pieces, but it also kind of helped me draw on the ideas that I'd already improvised in the earlier pieces. So like I have ideas and motifs that are throughout all 3 pieces besides just the chords. So the first piece in Three Images Book 1 is called The Willow Tree. It opens with a very solemn theme in the bass that is then supplemented by chords in the right hand. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Gregorian chant. The Willow Tree is in the key of G minor, and to me, as a composer and as a performer, G minor is a very sad key signature. It's really dark and really sad, and I guess that is what's reflected in the Willow Tree. It goes from solemn to sad, and then there's kind of this burst of distraught energy in the middle, kind of like something you would hear in a Chopin nocturne or something, but then it quickly returns back to that solemn theme. I named it the Willow Tree because this particular tree represents strength even through challenges, and that's what this piece represents. The second image in the book is called Ocean Waves. It's very much related to the Willow Tree. Listen to the opening bars. The theme begins in the bass, but this time it's not as dark and sad as the Willow Tree was. Ocean Waves is in the key of D minor, which, for you music theory nerds, is the dominant of G minor. But occasionally the theme slips out of D minor and into D Dorian. This just means that I take the B flat out of the key signature and it gives it almost like a folk music sort of tone and atmosphere. And this helps lighten up the mood a little, so it's not quite as dark and as sad. Now, partway through Ocean Waves, the repeated chords change to arpeggios. There are slight harmonic variations in these arpeggios, and they carry us through to the climax of the piece. And then the loud and exciting part of this piece really reminds me of a stormy ocean. The repeated chords in the bass move up and down like waves, and it's just sort of turbulent and exciting. The melody moves to the upper registers, and it's an octave, so it gives it kind of an orchestral feel. And now there's a short section towards the end of Ocean Waves that really uses repeated chords. Here, there are repeated chords with very slight harmonic changes to close out the piece. What makes these chords different than the earlier ones is the fact that they're not just major or minor, but that they have additional harmonic depth to them, and it's actually foreshadowing the beginning of the next piece. And now let's talk about Sunrise. So Sunrise is the third and the pinnacle movement of Three Images. It's the longest of the 3, and it's also the most exciting in my opinion. It goes through the most development as far as the themes go. So here are the opening measures. They are taken from the last section of Ocean Waves and molded into a new key and a new theme. This idea continues until a key change from A minor to E major. Yeah, Sunrise starts in the key of A minor, which is also the dominant of D minor, and E major is the dominant of A, just to point that out. This key change to E major is kind of where things start getting fun. The right hand is playing an E major 7th chord arpeggiated. Remember those arpeggios from Ocean Waves? While the left hand is playing actually 2 separate themes kind of combined into one. So these themes are actually taken straight from the Willow Tree and from Ocean Waves, except for now they are major. They're in a major key signature instead of minor. They sound a lot lighter and a lot happier now in this new key. I call this movement Sunrise because of how it progresses from this point on. The arpeggios and the themes develop gradually, building up an excitement over the arpeggiation? Arpeggiation, is that a word? Over the arpeggios and the theme in the left hand, and it gradually speeds up, it gradually adds notes, and it gradually gets louder until this big high point when it comes back to those opening chords that were in A minor but now we're in E major. So there you go. Thanks for watching this video. You can actually download the sheet music for free for 3 Images Book 1, and you can also download a free MP3 of Sunrise. The links to those are in the description, so go check it out. And don't forget to subscribe so that I can make more of these and share my music and other music with you. So what questions do you have? What questions do you have about music? What do you want to know about composing or practicing or anything music related? Let me know in the comments and I will see you next time.